Hi everyone, today we have a new video review, and as you can see, this time we are going to talk about fresh release from ICM. This is a helicopter kit, and we get UH-60A Black Hawk. It's a US military transport helicopter in 1/48 scale. It should be quite a large build, and this is already the second version. As you can see, we get slightly different markings from what we had in the first, I would say, classic release with the black markings. So as you can see, the kit number is 48361, and what I have here on the table, that's the final shape of this release, so it means you should be able to get the same thing from Modelimex. For example, they should have it already available, and the box art is quite nice. We have this Nomad helicopter, and also the box size, I would say, is standard for such release from ICM, so here is comparison with my hand. Also on the side you can see some information about the kit, so it's written here that the parts count is 285 parts, which is not that big for a helicopter in 1/48 scale, but the length will be 414 millimeters, so almost half a meter. And of course, well, usually we had the history note here, but now we have only some safety notes. And on the opposite side you can see also 3 marking options which are included into this kit. So then you can see this small sign here. That's something what my dear post provided me as the special bonus. But usually these boxes from ICM, they are quite sturdy, so what I'm doing right now is cutting through the plastic tape which holds the top cover. And in the meantime, I recommend you to check the first release of the Black Hawk as well. And of course, if you would like to support me, you can do it with the help of the link which is written in the video description, or with the help of big red button on the website. And remember that later there will be also the link to the review article with the photos on my website, so I'm usually posting it with some delay. So as you can see, the box structure is standard. We have this cover printed top lid, and then we have sturdy white cardboard box. And as I was saying, usually it provides all of the necessary protection because we have plenty of space there. And now I'm just going to move it aside and open this plastic sprues. They are packed into the same plastic bag, as you can notice. And yeah, so because everything is packed into one plastic bag, I can see that unfortunately some of the parts are a bit loose, but I think I saw only 2 of them. What I'm doing right now, I'm opening the clear plastic frame, so just give me a moment to open it. And this is the sprue with the canopy parts, and I think that's the one of the most interesting things, because Black Hawk is I would say famous for its quite unusual or already classic design, and the canopy plays quite a notable role in it. And as you can see, the parts are really nice. They look almost like real glass. The only thing is how to paint all of this stuff, so this might require some careful masking, and I'm not sure if this kit will be actually featuring the masking templates, so we'll have to check the assembly manual. But we get the new sprue K, because I think we did not get it in the previous release. And if I zoom in, you can see that we have this chin panel for the nose section. We also have some side panels as well, and everything looks nice. If I flip over this part here, you can see we have the guiding elements. So it's not, I would say, plain parts without any alignment elements, and this is a very useful design which should speed up the whole process. Next, we continue with the sprue H, and here we have the tail wings. So each tail wing, well, not each tail wing, but whole tail wing should be assembled out of 2 halves. That's why I say that each half should be glued together. And as you can see, the surface details, they look really good. So for 1/48 scale, that's already an important thing, and with some careful weathering and painting, you should be able to bring out those details. Here we have also some of the fuselage panels and also some parts for the cockpit. I guess there are some differences between the previous version and the one which we are reviewing right now, so pay attention to use the right elements on your build. Next, we have also the rotor blades. So main rotor blades are provided without the sag, so I can show it like this. And as you can see, these are quite large parts, so here's comparison with my hand. And well, they look really good. They feature this small curve on the end, just like on the real thing. So it's just a matter of installing them on your helicopter and you'll be good to go. Okay. Next, we continue with the I just need to understand which sprue is on the top. So I don't know why, but here we get a slightly different fuselage panel, and I'm trying to compare what is different, and I do not see that many differences, to be honest. As you can see, that's the sprue A1. We get the fuselage panel for the right side, and it's molded in exactly the same style as the one which is provided together with the left half. We have the raised rivets, we have recessed panel lines, here's the tail fin, and of course the separate rudder and also separate engine compartment, separate doors here. And if I flip it over here inside, we have the guiding elements. And in terms of the external features, I can zoom in and maybe show it like this, so that you can understand that the features are really good for this scale. Some of you were saying that, well, it's already something what is expected, but somehow some brands are managing to release something simpler, so that's why I'm still highlighting such stuff. And what I was talking about here is another pair of this fuselage parts. So I guess the new part will have to be used, and this one will have to be left side. We also have the separate floor panel, which is really cool because you won't have any seams in the middle in this quite visible area. And as you can see, we have the panel lines here, which could be divided if this part was divided into two halves. But because of such design, we get it as a single piece part, so it's really beautiful. And again, we have recessed panel lines and raised rivets. So this is also quite nice. But I think this is the approach they first practiced with the Cobra, then with the Tarhe, and now we get this one as well, which is finished in approximately the same styling with the technologies which they already, let's say, perfected. And here you can see the tail wing. I guess this one will not be used because we have the larger one, which we saw in the beginning. Next, we continue with another big plastic sprue. So here we have also some parts which will not be used, for example this chin panel, and also here we have the top section of the fuselage. This is the fore panel, and then we have more of the parts which will be installed separately, for example the doors. And even though manufacturers suggest to assemble the closed doors, obviously you can open them, and in 1/48 scale this is already a useful thing because you can try to build some diorama with them. And as you can see, they're molded nicely, so there is nothing to complain about. It's the same level of details as on the fuselage parts, and the same can be said about this let's say transport compartment. And here you can see the standard chin panel, and by the way, here is the top panel for the helicopter. So everything looks nice, and to be honest, first time when I saw this design, I would say I was quite impressed because again, some brands still manage to divide such visible and I would say important parts into two halves. Here we have them provided in a quite clever way, and of course the nose section, which is not divided into any let's say halves or quarters. This is also good because this is also a visible part on the finished model. And here you can check the parts from the opposite side. So doors, they have the interior pre-molded, you don't have to install it separately, so this is also quite a handy thing. And this is also one of the reasons why I say that you can actually assemble it separately and then just open the door. Now I'm trying to understand which part broke off, because here I have this panel which was just flying around. As you can see, it will be something installed inside probably. But we have also two plastic sprues which are dedicated to the seats in the transport compartment. So here you can see the sprue D. As I said, it is provided as a pair, and here you can see the seats which will be assembled separate from the supports. We also have the landing gear wheels, and everything looks rather nice. So it's just a matter of pre-painting all of these parts, because once you install them inside, obviously it will be really hard to reach them. So that's why some of the paint work will have to be done in advance. Next, we also have another pair of the plastic sprues. Here we have the landing gear wheels, machine guns, some of the landing gear leg parts, and also some parts for the seats. A lot of small elements and thin parts. Here you can see comparison with my fingertip. So be sure to have the right tools, because in some cases it might be necessary to install the parts with the tweezers, otherwise it will be nearly impossible to get them into the right spot. And the last but not the least is the sprue C. So just give me a moment. Here it is. So I can see this part was broken off, and then I saw also somewhere the attachment, another empty attachment, so that's exactly because of this mark in the rear side of the box. But as you can see, everything is alright. The parts which broke off, they're also okay, so there is nothing to complain about. It's just a matter of cleaning them up from the attachment points. Here we have the parts for the main rotor, we have also some parts for the cockpit, for the engine bay here. And I saw already some aftermarket which actually copies the engine in even more details, but that's already your investment. So if you are up for such challenge, then definitely go for it, because in 1/48 scale such upgrades make sense and they give you a better result overall. Okay, so now I'm opening the assembly manual, and here first of all I would like to show you the decal sheet. This one is only one in the kit, so here we have all of the necessary symbols, and you can notice that we have the decals for the instrument panel. We do not have the seat belts, unfortunately, so for this you will have to get the aftermarket, or maybe just copy them with the masking tape in a classic way. I would do so for the transport compartment because it's barely visible, but maybe for the pilot seats it's better to get some proper option. And then we have the assembly manual, so for this I have to close the lenses even more, zoom out. As you can see, it's a classic ICM brochure. We have the short history note here, paints chart, then we have a lot of red color, so this kind of hints that we need to use the right version of the parts for your build, because otherwise you might end up with a weird mix of the version specific parts. Assembly process obviously starts with the cockpit, and here straight away you have to plan in advance how you will be painting all of these parts, because otherwise it will be impossible to paint them later. Here we have also the transport compartment, and I can see that some drilling have to be done in the fuselage panels, also some cutting as well. And then we continue by joining the fuselage panels all together around the interior. Then the bottom panel goes in place. We assemble the tail wing. Here you can see the canopy parts and engine parts, this engine nozzles. The nose section, here we continue with the doors. So as I was saying, manufacturer shows the closed doors, but you can open them because these are separate parts, and I would do so in order to show what is inside, because otherwise it's just a shame to hide everything inside. But that's also your decision if you are up for such challenge, or maybe you would like to focus on the external features. Here we continue with more drilling on the top panel, and I'm not sure why it's done here this way, maybe just to install the additional antennas which are molded separately. Then we assemble the main rotor. Here you can see the final step. We have the masking guide, or a masking template, which is really useful because we have a lot of clear parts here. First two marking options coming from 2005 and 2009, and this one was on the box art. And here we continue with another one from 2013. It's from Montana National Guard. So quite interesting option as well. So overall, I would say it's always cool to have the famous Black Hawk in 1/48 scale, especially in this quality, and it should be already available. You can get it in Modelimex. Of course, I will be happy to hear your opinion, so do not forget to write it here in the comment section below. And I will see you in the next video review as usual. Thank you for joining me today, and bye.